All right, so here we are. We're back again today. We did 2 co-learning sessions today. I'm really into trying to do this stuff with Docker. So far, we've had a bit of success. I'm outlining the steps. We made a new lab in case you want to follow along. I haven't committed it yet, but I could probably do that right now, actually. So the name of it is how are we doing on this? Has this been pushed? How about this? What if I do this? What I do add -a commit add, I guess. I mean, kind of want to do it by day, you know. Add October 15th. I'm using arrows. Yeah, anyway. So git push. Yeah, okay, I'm getting this out there so you guys can follow along. Some of you are really good at following all the code and everything. You want to read it, you want to have your own copy, so there you go. So give you this repo in the Twitch. So there it is. github.com/rbxrob/lab-k8s, this thing right here, hardway-docker. That's probably going to stay the final name for it. I don't know. I'm going to make a beginning to end series for Kubernetes after I get this all straightened out, not only to solidify my own learning, but to help other people. I feel like there's a lot of extra fluff that's unnecessary in the Kelsey Hightower one, and I've said so. It was pretty critical this morning, but I'm so happy it's there because we have something to go on. All right, so in fact, here it is right here. So this is the Kelsey Hightower Kubernetes the hard way, which has you do it all in Google Cloud Platform and has you pay money and all this stuff, and I don't want to do any of that. So we're doing it all in Docker. Just a reminder, we have created a build script that has I mean, and I don't mind having scripts because it helps me capture what commands I use to do the things. It's kind of like having notes, but you can run them. I call it a code book. So master nodes. This is the code necessary to run master nodes. We realized we had to have two. I'm just recapping my own learning for myself. We had to create a network. So that's all in the steps here. So let's go through that. This is in the repo. You can go read it if you want to. And I copy and paste the code. So I'm going to change all the stuff in here, but here's the main steps. So we created 2 Docker networks because they did in the other one. And he created one for the controllers, the control plane nodes, and one for the workers. And if you don't know Kubernetes, that Kubernetes has a bunch of compute instances. That's the Google word, which is just computers, machines, whatever you want, a place to run stuff, something that has an OS installed. And I've heard them colloquially called master nodes and worker nodes. And the master nodes are where the control plane gets deployed, all the parts of the control plane. Control plane is lots of individual little pieces of software that can be on the same machine or separated out for high performance availability and all that stuff. And then you can have workers. I actually did a diagram. I started to do a diagram of this and this is specifically for my home network. So if I was going to set up a hardware system here, I would have my home router here, I have the internet here, I have the cluster router here, and then I'd be poking holes through to talk to the control planes. I have 4. I'm going to actually have 3. Let's make it simple here. I only have 3 right now, 3 control plane, 3 control machines. So what does this look like? I'm using Docker because Minikube and Kind both use Docker. This is where that statement I said earlier that Kubernetes technically is just an API. It's more than that. It's a platform because it does say you have to have other stuff that like core, etcd and core DNS and those kind of things are sort of standardized now. So you can't quite say that it's just an API, but at the end of the day, it's mostly an API, and it talks on a specific port, and that's why you can get away with stuff like Cedero Metal, which is Talos, which we talked about I did a whole video on that, which is Kubernetes on bare metal, and it just talks gRPC and MTLS. Those are gRPC is a super high performance binary protocol, and MTLS is a socket layer encryption protocol for use within the cloud that you can tunnel gRPC through. And so you end up with these computers. I'm going to call them computers, but they're really not, right? That are running Talos or Citadel OS, whichever you want to call it. It's going through a name change. And then all they do is they talk to Kubernetes, and then you talk to Kubernetes with kubectl. And that's how you interface with everything, is through kubectl. So kubectl is your window into the world. It's your client, so to speak. And then you talk through port, I think it's 5000 to talk to these things. And I'm not sure if you can talk to each one. We talked the other day about having a load balancer here, an official load balancer that makes sure that it distributes your queries to any of the 3 control planes. Or you can use round robin DNS and just give them all the same name, and it'll, the same, 3 IPs for the same DNS, and it'll do that if you want to run your own internal DNS. But if you do that, you're going to have to set up your own DNS somehow outside here in this infrastructure area, as opposed to in here, which there's this core DNS as a piece of the control plane, and here this diagram is probably going to change a little bit. Either that, or we're going to zoom in, because these things I've got multiple things that are running on them. But it's good to kind of just know what these are, kind of logical boxes, I guess. So yeah, go back here. And I'm actually kind of enjoying doing this stuff. It's been fun. So Docker network create. So I learned about how to create a Docker network. I've never done that before. By default, Docker makes a Docker network ls will create something in the bridge driver. There are different drivers. From what I understand, they're just the way of implementing it. Bridge is default. This JHub driver right here was created by Minikube. So Minikube and Kind, if you know them, you should at this point in your training, both do this. They do what I'm doing. They just do it behind the scenes. So I'm basically doing the same sort of thing. The reason you can get away with doing this in Docker is because, as I said, at the end of the day, the main part of Kubernetes is just an API. So who cares if it's a container that's running an OS or if it's an actual machine? Doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, and particularly for the purposes of learning, you can do all of this just with Docker, and make sure you just separate out your networks and stuff. And you can visualize it the same way, and it just saves you a lot of time. You don't have to set all the hardware up and everything, download the images and everything. You can just say, hey, you can even practice with different images. You couldn't do things like mess around with different like core architectures like Windows or something, because we're using Docker, of course, but you can get pretty damn close, and you can certainly do everything necessary to get certified. So I feel like I'm building a way to do this that is easier. And it also, the way that I'm doing it has a core dependency on other skills that I personally am going to assume of anyone who's getting into this. If you do not have basic shell scripting skills and basic Linux command line skills, just forget it. Forget it. Don't even try to seriously, I am having a hard enough time not having Docker skills, like really good ones. I've made images and stuff, like 1 or 2 images. I'm not really, really, really awesome with Docker. You don't actually have to be really, really awesome with Docker. You just have to know the Docker essentials. You don't have to compose or any of that. Compose would have made this a shorter thing. But I don't want to add a bunch of layers of automation and stuff. That's Kelsey Hightower's whole point is that he did it without scripting, and then he has for loops in there. So the most scripting you're going to see in his tutorial is with the for loop, right? So I figured, okay, fine. Well, this is just a way for me to encapsulate the steps, and I just putting them into functions that get command line. This is a cool little template I have here that it tab completes anything that begins with an X dot. It just senses it, and that's what all the scaffolding's about. So that I can run like multiple scripts inside of it. So I just tab and I get whatever. And there's some stuff there that I don't need help and stuff, but whatever. Because again, this is, if I accidentally kill my containers. So let's see. So Docker ls is going to show us, Docker ps will show us all of the stuff that's running. 5shot. What were you saying? You talked about Jupyter Hub with your SRE and was basically laughed out of the room. Why? Because they thought they hate it, right? Did they hate it? They hated it, right? Please tell me they hated it. Yeah, I hate it too, but data people really love it. It's not easy to. Did they do it in Kubernetes? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. They did it. They spun it up on a server. That's one thing. Okay, yeah. Let me know. Let me know when they get the NVIDIA proprietary PyTorch image running under Kubernetes and JupyterHub. Because so far, after a week of research, there's nobody doing it on the planet Earth. I would love to see them lap that shit off. Okay. Sorry for that sidebar. Okay. I'm in case you haven't figured this out, I do infrastructure engineering and cloud native architecture and development for a big old company that wants to have fancy PyTorch images that have multiple GPU support in JupyterHub, and there is no standard image in the Docker stack of images, so you have to make it. So right now I'm doing it in the Python versions are different and blah blah blah. It's been a pain in my side for the entire week. Anyway, so we got these things. Let's go back to Happy Town where we have just happy local Docker for now. So Kubernetes control plane here, and then what else do we have? Then we have the Kubernetes workers, and those are just all systems, and you can log into them. And we're not going to use SSH, even though the tutorial suggests you get SSH on all these boxes. If you were deploying this in the world, that's what you would do. You would put SSH on all these machines. You prepare them all. In fact, in our enterprise environment, that's exactly what happens. In the infrastructure team, we have a couple. We call it the run team. They will image the systems, and they'll put kubeadm and all the pieces on it, and then they'll give it to us, and then we'll run kubeadm and join them into the cluster. So that's the normal process. But I want to do both of those pieces today. But rather than like provision a machine. We're going to use the Docker container. So, but to get to it is then just Docker, God, I've been doing so much kube control stuff. It's like so similar. The commands are so similar to the kube control stuff. So, Docker exec it, I want to go to, we'll go to oh wait, it's, I have worker one, right? Worker one. And we'll run bash over here. So now I'm on bash. Now see, that was even faster than if I had done it in Google Cloud or something. And then what we got? We got this here. So here we are. We got worker nodes running, and we're over here. But here's the thing: we just have a machine. We don't have. There's no SSH. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's no SSH. It essentially uses SSH behind the scenes, but it's not really SSH. But it's the same thing as SSHing into the machine. In fact, you almost never SSH in the container Kubernetes world. It's very, very rare. You do that to get into the login machine if you need to, like to break through some firewall or something, and then you do all the other stuff. But even that's not necessary because most of the time they can expose port 5000 for the API and then just give you, specific permissions for your account and bypass all of that. Which I imagine that stuff's going to come up when I start turning to the CKS stuff, the Kubernetes Security Administrator stuff, because that gets into RBAC rules and all that. So next is, let's go back to the Hill C steps, the Hightower thing. So okay, we were stuck on creating certificates. So this is where we're at. We're creating certificates, and it says go get the Cloudflare tool for creating certificates, and I don't like that because I know that we are not using the Cloudflare tools for creating certificates. I know there's a better way to do it, and I refuse to accept this suggestion until we can come up with something better. Because I know there's a better tool out there. I just don't know. I don't know how, honestly. It has been so long since when I messed with certificates, it was in 98. Like when the first SSL authority started coming up, and I haven't done certificates since then, honestly. I haven't needed to. I use Namecheap or or what is it? Not Freenom. What's the other free cert authority? In fact, I'm tempted to use name. What is that? Oh God, I forgot the name. I had brain. What's the name of the one where you can get certs for free? It's like a foundation, and that's what I do for all my Nginx certs, and I just can't remember right now. Dang it! I'll just search for it. Free GBS TLS certificates. It's not Freenom. It's another service. It's just right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, it's right on the edge of my. Let's Encrypt. There it is. Let's Encrypt. Yeah. So I just use Let's Encrypt for all my certs, and it's fine. I don't. And they have a really nice kind of interface for renewals and stuff. And so I haven't had to make my own certs and mess around with that for a long time. But you definitely have to know how to make certs and play around with them and manage them. It's probably one of the more important tasks to do with the Kubernetes DevOps kind of stuff. And I need to get that skill back up to speed. There was a backend dev thinking he knew. Oh, really? Yeah. So let's see here. So we've got free certificate.me. I don't know what that is. So I'm not gonna trust the tutorial on this. I'm actually gonna go to the official documentation. Yeah, and I'm gonna and we're gonna go to when they start to complain. Yeah, they will. I promise. I mean, they might, who knows? Maybe they know stuff that we don't. So give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna go look for Kubernetes. What is it creating? What's the task we're doing? Provisioning a CA and generating TLS certificates. Okay, so Kubernetes provisioning a CA and generating TLS certs. I wonder if there's anybody at work right now. I'm gonna look at my other screen here for a sec. I could ask one of them what tool we use at work. Now they're all asleep or gone or something. Yeah, nobody's there. Because if I could find, I could ask. I need to ask Billy. Where is Billy? He's the guy who knows. He always knows the good stuff to pick. PKI certificates and requirements. Parent CA. Kubernetes requires PKI certificates for authentication over TLS. Okay. This is the official Kubernetes documentation, which would be allowed to us on the certification exam. I trust. This is one of the reasons I wanted to use this documentation over the other stuff. I've also committed to myself why I don't like for generating certs, because I don't like it. Because I know we don't use that at work. I guarantee you we don't use Cloudflare stuff at work. There's another way to do it, but if that's the only way, if Kubernetes says that's the official way, then that's the way we'll do it. But I absolutely know that's not how they do it at work. They use another tool that's more standard across the board. It's not just for Cloudflare. I don't know. We're gonna go see. Maybe I got it wrong. We're gonna find out. So again, I'm gonna use a graphic interface for this, because you can only use a graphic interface. You can't use links on the test. So I want to become familiar with how this reads here. So here is this is like the gospel about certs with regard to Kubernetes, according to the Kubernetes site, which is the source of all truth when it comes to the certification. So if they say do it there, then I will do it. Otherwise, no. All right. So Kubernetes requires PKI certificates, public key interface, I guess that is. Certificates for authentication over TLS. TLS is the modern HTTPS. If you install Kubernetes with kubeadm, the certificates that your cluster requires are automatically generated. See, this is the thing. I still want to know how to make my own certs, because I kind of want to try this whole thing with an etcd that I maintain outside of Kubernetes, even though that is not the way I want to do it first. That's how we do it at work. At work, we maintain our own etcd, and it's external from kubeadm, which means we have to keep track of our own certs. We actually had certs in our dev cluster expire and take us down for 4 hours in dev, because we had to get to it and find it and refresh it and blah, blah, blah. So I think this is probably one of the places I'm going to have to focus for probably the rest of the night. I want to get creation of certificates really mastered. This is a real dangerous thing. We had a huge snafu with people having the wrong certs deployed to their desktop endpoints and having, certs that validate certs and cert parents and all that stuff. And I want to really understand that fully, because it is a super big source of outages. It's been the source of the 2 major outages we've had so far have been certificate management that's gone awry, or people have forgot about it or whatever. So I'm not going to skim over this. I'm going to dive in here. And all of this stuff I want to read very carefully. So Kubernetes requires PKI. Got it. Your cluster require automatically generated. You can also generate your own certificates, for example, to keep your private keys more secure by not storing them on the API server. And I still want to know how that relates to secrets and all that jazz. This page explains the certificates that your cluster requires. So I think we should probably do this both ways. I also believe that this statement here is outdated. Again, this tutorial was made for 1.20, which was, is it 2.20 or 2.1? This tutorial is old, bottom line. In this section, you will provision a certificate authority that can be used to generate additional TLS certificates. Generate the CA configuration file, certificate, and private key. So they're telling you how to make your own CA. And that's so if you wanted to create your own certificate authority in your company or organization or whatever, and then you could sign your own certs. It's not quite a self-signed cert because you are the authority, right? So you'll provision a PKI infrastructure using the PKI toolkit, then use it to bootstrap certificate authority, then generate the TLS certificate. So you could just use kubeadm and have it do it. And I imagine it would use some CA, some standard CA. I don't know what, and I feel like we're skipping over some tools there. So this tutorial, I do like that the tutorial suggests that you set up your own CA, which is not something that this Kubernetes documentation is suggesting you should do. It says that it's an option. You can also generate your own certificates, for example, to keep your own private keys more secure by not storing them on the API server. This page explains certificates that your cluster requires. Okay. How certificates are used by your cluster. Kubernetes requires PKI for the following operations, pretty much everything. Client certificates for kubelet to authenticate to the API server. Server certificate for the API. Yes. So all the ways that it talks over the API. Between etcd, between kubelets. Kubelets are the things, it's one of the pieces, it's one of the 3 pieces that runs on a worker node. You have a kubelet, you have a kube proxy, and then you have a container runtime engine. Those are the 3 pieces on every node that make it a node. Client certificates for the API server, talk to etcd, yep. Client certificate kube config for controller management to talk to the API server. Client certificate kube config for the server to talk to the API. Client servers. So there's a bunch of to the front proxy. I haven't used the front proxy or the dashboard at all, ever, but it probably should do that. Front proxy certificates are required only if you run kube proxy to support an extension API server. I thought the kube proxy was a mandatory piece on the. This is different. That's interesting. etcd also implements mutual TLS to authenticate client servers. Yep, that's the ones that went out of date. So this is something I know, just kind of matter of factly. If you use kubeadm and you do it all within the framework of Kubernetes, it will auto update your certs so they don't expire every time you update version. If you don't do that, at least for etcd, if you don't do that, then you have to keep track of when your certs expire. You need to give yourself a reminder somehow, because when they expire, all hell breaks loose. Where certificates are stored. To install Kubernetes with kubeadm, we haven't installed any Kubernetes yet at all. Most certificates are stored in Kubernetes Pki. All paths in this document are relative to that directory. So this is if you use kubeadm. I kind of feel like we should do it once with kubeadm, and then we should do it once using a full CA. Configure certificates manually. If you don't want kubeadm to generate the required certificates, you can create them using a single root CA, or by providing all certificates. See certificates for details on creating your own certificate authority. See certificate management with kubeadm for more on managing certificates. I wonder how much of this, I imagine on the certification exam, we're going to have to know how to do it with kubeadm and do it as a separate certificate authority, which is likely what you're going to have in your enterprise. Single root CA, you can create a single root CA controller by the administrator. This root CA can then create multiple intermediate CAs and delegate further. That's exactly what they're doing in the tutorial. Paths, hierarchy, Kubernetes, CA, default setting, Kubernetes, general CA, etcd CA, okay. On top of one on top of the above CAs is also necessary to go public private key for server account management, SAI key and pub. The following examples are CA certificate and certificate files from the previous table. Okay. So you just have to put the certs there, right? All certificates. If you don't wish to copy the CA private keys to your cluster, you can generate all certificates yourself. That's what I want to do, ultimately. Host SAN required certificates, parent CA, etcd CA. This is the whole, I kind of got to get my head around certificates in general. So the whole TLS certificate thing, it's probably worth understanding it. I think it seems like dependent knowledge here. I'm not really strong on certificates, but I need to be. You really do need to be, because it's just so important. You get this wrong, if you have like the wrong parent or you put it under like that, you can get all kinds of disaster. And it can get really convoluted because you get crazy like node tree graph models of your certificates. So I'm just going to read through this and then I'll decide whether to dive into the certificates thing on my own or not. Any other IP or DNS you contact your cluster as used by kubeadm, the load balancer, stable IP or DNS. Yeah, not that. Okay. A kind maps to one of the X509 key usage types. Client, server, hosted LAN, host SAN listed above are the recommended ones for getting a working cluster. If required by a specific set, it is possible to add additional SAN on all servers. Okay, for kubeadm users only, this is a little bit confusing because they're mixing the you use kubeadm, use your own thing in the same document. The scenario where you're copying to your cluster CA certs without private keys is referred to as external CA in the kubeadm documentation. And that's what the tutorial has you do, an external CA. If you are comparing the above list with kubeadm general PKI, please be aware that kubeetcd, kubeetcd peer, and kubeetcd health check client certificates are not generated in case of external etcd. And that is what I'm talking about. If you're using external etcd, you have to do your own thing. And I don't know if the tutorial is going to have us do an external etcd or not. We haven't got that far along. And I suspect we have to know how to do it both ways. So I kind of want to get through it once to get it all working and then try to go through it with different scenarios and different variations, because you're going to have lots of variations. That's kind of the problem with keeping up with all this. Certificate paths. Certificates should be placed in a recommended path. This just tells you where to put all your certs. Yeah. There's a lot of them. These are all the pieces of the control plane, most of it from proc. They're all it's so that you can create all those tunnels between everything to talk to. It's all. All right, the following example illustrates the file paths from the previous tables you need to provide if you are generating all of your own keys and certificates. Shit. The file paths from, this is all of the paths that you would have. Wow. And this is the main, this is the authority. This is the etcd health check stuff, all the etcd stuff, the front proxy. API server is the main thing. Wait, what? Oh, this is the authority. Okay. This is the signing authority. This is the certificate authority. The API server, etcd, what? That's interesting. Okay, so there's a different etcd, and then there's an API server etcd. API etcd client. Huh. Oh, I know. That's interesting. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I don't think I realized that was what was going on. That explains a lot. So we have 4 master nodes, and they're in 2 different data centers, and their etcds talk to each other. So that's probably what enables etcd to talk back and forth, to synchronize across. So it's, eventual concurrency, whatever they call it. Yeah, I think that's what's going on with that. etcd is a database for all this stuff. Configure certificates for user accounts. You must manually configure these administrator accounts and service accounts. Okay, fine. Authconf, yeah. Kubelet.conf for each config, generate a file and key pair with the given CN and O. Yeah. Set cluster credentials, set context, default user cluster. Yeah. I need to read a whole thing on certs. I need to deep dive in certs all over again, like from scratch. And it's not fun. It's just not fun. But you got to know it. It's so important because all security is based on this. Do you see the new malware that's out there that's taking advantage of misconfigured Kubernetes configurations? Yeah, or deployments. And this is the kind of thing it would eat you for lunch on if you got it wrong. These files are used as follows. Admin conf, kubelet, controller. Yeah, this is configuration. This is not certs. All right, so what next? I'm going to go through and click on the certificates for doing your own CA. When using client certificate authentication, you can generate certificates manually through easy-rsa openssl. That's what we use. This is what we use. I was looking for the name of it. Or the CloudNin. I'm not doing that one. So we use openssl. And we always have. And I don't know why that answered my question. This is the main reason we came to this page. And I just got my answer. So I don't know which one's easier. Let me see if they have any hints about it here. This is not, one best way. This is like, you can do it 3 different ways. Which one do you think is best? easy-rsa can manually generate certificates for your cluster. Unpack easy-rsa, curl it down, tar it, make it run. Generate new CA. I don't know why they wouldn't use openssl. OpenSSL can manually generate certificates for your cluster. Gen-RSA out, CA blah. This is the most trusted. I think in the world, that's got to be the most trusted. Cloudflare has fucked so many things up. As a company, I don't trust them at all. Generate a server key with 240K. I don't know. I trust OpenSSL better. I'm going to give Cloudflare the benefit of the doubt, though. Let's read it. CF is another tool for somebody to download and unpack. It's probably a Go tool. Maybe not. JSON. Create a directory to hold, make a cert. Print defaults config. Create a JSON config file for generating a CA file, for example. Blah. Profiles, Kubernetes. Create a JSON config for generating the CA file, for example. Really? They have you write a JSON file instead of just doing it with commands? Oh, God. No. As soon as they're using cluster local. Okay, what is this? Create a config file for generating a certificate signing authority. Be sure to substitute the values. Oh, so this is why people like it, because it has JSON. People like the Cloudflare one because it uses JSON and not TOML. Yeah. This is using its own format, its own TOML format. It looks like TOML to me. Yeah, it's not though. It's TOML compatible. So according to the CA key, blah, blah, blah. So I guess it just depends on what your style of you know, files is. I absolutely believe OpenSSL is more prevalent on the community. If people are using the other one, it's because of the Hightower tutorial, but not because it's the best. Create a directory to hold it. Put all your JSON files in there. Yeah. Put your names in there. Generate the CA. Create a JSON config generated. Yeah, and the sample assumes those the cluster.local. Generate the key. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go read people fight about which one I think is best. First of all, I'm going to go see this project. I want to go see it. I want to go see the source code for it. So, before I make a decision. Google APIs, easy-rsa. So this is actually a Google thing. Easy-rsa is a Google thing. That's interesting. OpenSSL just comes on your machine. This is why everybody uses that, including Nginx. Nginx doesn't use the fucking Cloudflare thing. It uses OpenSSL. So whether you don't like that or not, it's irrelevant. Yeah, I gotta say, I am not a fan of this tutorial. So far, I disagree pretty significantly with several of the decisions made, starting with putting everything on Google. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go look at this. CR blog post contributed on GitHub. Okay. BSD2 clause? Really? Introducing, this is 2014. It's been around a while, it looks like. Open source toolkit for everything. TLS is usually used internally by Cloudflare to bundle TLS certificates and chains. It's written in Go and available in Cloudflare GitHub account. Well, that's a plus. Can be used as a web service with a JSON API. Or as a command line tool. That's pretty damn cool. I might be convinced. So far, that's two really, really big things. Stay true to our promise. We're open sourcing cfssl. Huh. You can see above the image the key is owned by Cloudflare Inc. and the issuer is global sign. Certificate names, blah, blah, blah. Wait, what? Oh, they open the certificate in some sort of GUI. What are SSL certificates? Secure. This is cool. This is cool. Okay. Okay. I'm warming up to this, guys. I'm warming up to this. I could get behind this. OpenSSL is written in C. I mean, I got to make a comparison here for myself. I'm not going to make a decision right away. If necessary, I'll just keep with the library, with the tutorial, because that's old Let's Encrypt root certificate expiration and OpenSSL 1.02. Certificate expiration. Welcome to OpenSSL. Okay, so I am going to make a little summary video, not a video, but I got to write my notes in comparison. I have to make a comparison about this for myself to make a decision. OpenSSL is like definitely the oldest thing. It's been around forever. I'm not using the Google internal thing. That's not something I'm interested in doing. So, yeah, Zet create, which, SSL tool? What was it? Easy, RSA, OpenSSL, and cfssl, right? All right. So, okay. I'm going to put these down here for a second. Not very fun viewing, I know, but whatever. So we have SSL. We have the CL introducing. We'll put this here. Yep. And the Google one. I don't even really want to refer to the Google one, actually. It's not, I don't know why I would ever pick it. Shell-based CI utility. You gotta be kidding me. easy-rsa. That can't be the same thing. That's gotta be something else. Containers, easy-rsa. Okay, fine. easy-rsa. No, God, no. Well, they must have a link to it here. I would just suspect. Oh, they don't. What a surprise. Google Storage API can manually generate certificates per cluster. Okay. It doesn't tell where to go read about it or anything. That is lame. Lame. I have no idea how to know. This says easy-rsa was actually managed by the Kubernetes project. Look at that. That's under the Kubernetes release. Easy-rsa. That is not just Google. That's the Kubernetes project. That's totally different. So I'm searching on the internet using a graphic web browser. That's really lame. Technical reference to advanced use for the PKI process. You need more. easy-rsa README. PKI home. Explains how easy-rsa 3 and all of its sort of. I don't even know if it's the same one. I don't. If they just give us an authoritative link, you don't want to go doing the wrong thing. You know, you put somebody's like GitHub project as opposed to the actual thing. These are all easy-rsa, right? But it doesn't say how to get it. If this says how to get it and it uses the Google source code for Kubernetes, then we know what's up. We know it's the right one. As a recipient available in the doc directory. Okay, well, how about where's the source? How about that? easy-rsa, read the doc's latest. Where is the fucking source? Can you started? Hey, this is just people just do not think of basic things all the time. Drives me crazy. Where the fuck is the source code for this? I want to see it on GitHub. I'm not using any RSA certificate provider for which I can't read the fucking source. I'm sorry. Call me conservative. I'm not going to read the source, but I want to know what other people have. And you can download it, right? But that doesn't, I mean, I don't know. What did this say? Storage API. Oh, hey, look, I got a tarball that I uncompressed, didn't check the checksum on it, and now I'm going to use it to make my corporate certificates. What the fuck? No wonder people are owning Kubernetes. I mean, it's an SSL. It's probably it's secured, so it's probably no man-in-the-middle attack, but still. And you're trusting it to be in the Kubernetes release. But I want to read the source code. How come I can't read the source code? Is it under Kubernetes? I bet it is. I'm gonna go find it. I'm not gonna know where it is. I'm gonna guess where it is. I am gonna guess. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Because it looks like it's a sister project for Kubernetes. If this is true, then this means this is kind of an authoritative tool that we could use. So we're in the Kubernetes home directory now. So if I do gh repo clone Kubernetes / easy-rsa, cannot resolve. Well, that'd be no. Kubernetes API cluster easy. Is there anyone in here? Git grep easy-rsa. Apparently so. Look at that. GCE uses it by default. Yeah. Apparently easy-rsa is what Kubernetes uses. Look at that. To do. Replace with a simple Go program to generate. Yes, I'm recording. This is all getting recorded. Yep. This is what I like about Go. Go has SSL built, OpenSSL built into it. So, yeah. Yep. This has got me super good. Apparently we're going to have to learn all three as if we wanted to just keep things simple. Guess we don't get to do that. So this is most definitely integrated into the Kubernetes project itself, which is when you do, you know what? I just answered a question. This is a big discovery. I'm going to put this in my log. Discovered that Kubernetes itself uses easy-rsa. So that's a pretty big one. Dove into certificates creation and management. Let's say researched wondering whether easy-rsa, OpenSSL, or for SSL, I'm just going to put whether to uses easy-rsa. Yeah, and then I'm going to put found. I'm going to put that little snippet in there. This is actually kind of fun that I found that. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this line exactly in here. That means somebody is going to do something. Found this fun snippet in the Kubernetes source. And 2, 3, 4 paste. Yeah, so I want to put that in there just because. Yeah. So that's actually good to know. So we are learning some stuff. So OpenSSL is a long-standing, major player in the world. This is the one that's the API for OpenSSL is built into Go. OpenSSL is the basis for all of the, the Let's Encrypt stuff is all built on OpenSSL. easy-rsa looks like it was a quick and dirty thing that was added by the Kubernetes project. That is a part of the Kubernetes project, as far as we can tell. I have to identify that. I'm still looking for that. And the cloud native, the Cloudflare thing is an entirely Go implemented version of SSL, which is actually a big plus because Go already has all of the standardized OpenSSL stuff built into it. When I was evaluating Go in 2014, I used OpenSSL and some of the built-in GPG encryption stuff. If you've been doing any coding for any amount of time, you know how big a deal it is that Go came in 2014 in the standard library with a solid GPG, OpenGPG, OpenVGP library, and OpenSSL. It was built into the standard library. And back then, you couldn't get it. You couldn't get it in Perl, Python, nothing. You had to either use C or you had to use GPG. And so that's a pretty big deal. So to me, it appears that easy-rsa is written in Go or is shooting to be replaced in Go. And the cfssl is definitely written in Go. It has an easier interface. The JSON is a little bit easier to deal with there. It's all open source. OpenSSL is all open source, so we just can't find it. It's harder to find this one. And OpenSSL is written in C, I'm almost positive, and has a crazy weird configuration file format. even though that is like the ancient standard that you need to know. I'm almost positive that this exercise should be done with openssl, because most conservative enterprises are not going to have cfssl installed. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. So it might behoove us to learn all three, or to at least know how to measure them against each other. They're all mentioned in the cubes. And I imagine all three will be available to you on the exam. I don't know. So, I mean, that would be something to know. I mean, knowing this is like one of those applications you're going to need to know every single argument and know how it works and not get it wrong, or you're going to like screw up your enterprise. It's bad enough keeping the certificates, managed and organized and stuff, let alone learning the interface to the whole thing. So I hate that they give three of them. I mean, I wish they would pick one and say, this is the preferred one, but they don't. They say you can use all three as usual. So I want to do a little bit more research on easy-rsa. I believe my conclusion that easy-rsa is the internal Kubernetes tool because it's being managed from the Kubernetes release. I believe that that's a fair statement, but I need to confirm that. If that's true, then that would very solidly mean that easy-rsa is blessed by the Kubernetes project itself, because it's the one that it's using internally. And I believe we've got pretty ample evidence so far by all of these links that util.sh, cluster GCE, I mean, come on. There's several direct references inside of the Kubernetes codebase that are using easy-rsa. If they didn't approve of it, they wouldn't do that. Now, obviously, they want to replace it, but they wouldn't do that. So knowing how to go through the source code and stuff is a thing. Make sure you know how to do that, because that you can kind of answer your own questions that way. Next thing I want to look for, I'm just going to do a search for easy-rsa on GitHub and see what we find. Easy-rsa, it's -rsa GitHub, and I don't know where it is. So simple shell-based CA utility. It'd be amazing to me if this thing's actually written in shell. I think it's probably written in shell and then it wraps openssl. What do you believe? What do you bet me? What do you bet me? What do you bet me? More on GitHub. Okay, so here it is. It's OpenVPN. Oh, today I learned. Oh, wow, that's like super trustworthy then. That's like really, really fucking trustworthy. Yeah, okay. Kubernetes still using easy-rsa. All right, I'm going to fill in the blanks here. So easy-rsa is an OpenVPN sub-project. That's cool to know. I did not know that until today. So an OpenVPN, of course, is like rock solid, trustable. And I mean, I feel like I'm doing 2 ZETIDs on this, I think, already. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah. Maybe not. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So, yeah. Oh, whatever. I kind of need one of these here, too. So, I'm going to be duplicating. I don't like that, but well. So related. We're going to do github.com/openvpn/easy-rsa. Yeah. Okie doke. Okie dokie. So now we know where that's coming from. Let's go read this stuff here. I guess that's May 10th, 2021. So it's been updated relatively recently. Yeah. On these keys, known issues, overview. easy-rsa is a CLI client to build and manage a PKI CA. In layman's terms, it means to create a root certificate authority. Let's go ahead and look at it. Let's go look at the source code. Go use the source, Luke, right? That's just how I do stuff. Sue me. CD OpenVPN, GH repo clone, boom, And now we've got the source code locally. We can go dig around in it. And what can we find here? This is fun. I like spelunking through code. No way better to understand something than rip through its guts. README quick start. Oh, you people do not know how. I need to help them with their docs. This is a quick start guide to easy-rsa version 3. Detailed help on use specific. Blah, 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 and Pki. Okay, fine. What are you? Tell me what you are first before I go any further. CLI tool. If you're looking for the release downloads, please go here. Documentation. Read the docs. Nope, quick start. Okay. Getting help. OpenVPN. Let's see. easy-rsa development coexists with OpenVPN, even though they are separate projects. Aha. The following resources are good places of this write-up. It's actually not a subproject, then I got it wrong. So, is an OpenVPN co-project. All right. Currently, easy-rsa, okay. Mailing list. They have a mailing list. Alrighty. You can try RC free node. Not anymore. That's old. So you need to update that. Branch structure. These are some master branches currently in development track. That's cool. I like it when people use master branch for development. I do. Sue me. Master may be broken. Yeah. No one should use your master branch. That is awesome, guys. All right. So the prior 2.0 1.x versions are available. Blah, 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 blah. Let's look at the actual code and see if it's actual shell. I doubt it is. There's be a make file in here. No? Build a dist. Yay, build files. Hey, shell check. Huzzah. easy-rsa dist staging. Build dist options. Please tell me you're not using GitHub. Nope, you use your own. Okay, that's fine. I approve. Tarball version date. Unix to DOS. That means somebody had a problem with that once upon a time. It's a shell script. This is all shell script conversion shit. Fuck, it actually is a shell script because this is all just transformation on a text file. Oh god, this is intriguing. This is super intriguing. Disk clean, stage win, main, blah, blah, blah. Disk clean, remove disk, make disk clean, set Unix for stage Unix. Yeah. I'm going to build me one right now. I know you're like, we're not planning on this, but I don't care. Using the build script, build this set, prepares a release, ready tarball from the current source. Ensure clean checkout, remove your leftover temp files and verify release changes. When ready, set a match version of tarball inside with blah. Use the limit to version params creates the default Git development version. Yes. For development, omitting the version param creates the default Git version. Windows builds. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's try, shall we? No, it's this file. Well, then you lied. You lied. I blame you. I blame you for lying. Uh-oh. No module name markdown. Please tell me you didn't depend on Python for your build. I may have just decided to never fucking use you. Yeah, it did. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, so where's the actual source? Let's go back. Let's dig down some more. easy-rsa 3. Alright, is there stuff under disk staging? That just got made, right? Yeah. Oh god. Oh my god. It is a shell script. They weren't kidding. Holy fuck. It's a shell script. Oh, how the fuck is it going to do the encryption? It's got to use something else. It's got to be using OpenSSL underneath. This is insane. I would never use this. And yet the Kubernetes project thinks to use it. I mean, God knows I love shell, but this is ridiculous. Wait. We have to find how this is actually implemented. This is driving me nuts. I'm so glad I looked. I'm so glad I looked. Easy-rsa is literally a shell script. Okay. I want to see where the dependencies are. It's got Python dependencies. With Python dependencies. Print. Wraparound printf clobber print. Since it's not POSIX anyway. Okay. I approve. I do that all the time. Warn. easy-rsa batch. This is some weird ass shell code. Awk, yes or no? It's detecting. Are you actually going to generate the certificates using awk? It's impossible. You'd have to use bsay for your like random. I'm just so fucking curious. I can't look away now. I can't look away. I'm like, how the fuck are they getting a CA cert out of a POSIX shell script? Set the 7. Where are we? We're only 14% in. Oh my god. Yep, there it is. easy-rsa OpenSSL. So this just uses OpenSSL. Yeah. Case OpenSSL command and make safeconf. CA rec. Oh god. Why would you do make safeconf? Easy make it. It's got to have OpenSSL in here somewhere. Copy. What? easy-rsa SSL conf. What the hell? Oh my god, I hate ZETID. You have to use it here because it's POSIX. But still, oh, I can't believe anybody would use a POSIX shell script for their certs. I don't know why they would do that. I guess that's fine. I mean, you know, run OpenSSL. Here we go. Curve blah 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 not found. Run OpenSSL EC-param list curves to show a list of supported curves. So this is just a helper wrapper around OpenSSL. I've yet to see the OpenSSL call to actually confirm that, but I imagine that's what it is. Yeah. We just have to find it. easy-rsa notice requirement UTF-8 key. Wait, what? easy-rsa OpenSSL. What the fuck is that? All right, we have to find that function. Did they use function? easy-rsa OpenSSL. We're gonna find where that's defined. Cert serial. So that's actually giving you certs. So we have to find that function, if it's a function. I assume it is. Yeah, we'll have to go through the whole file, but fuck. No, I'm going back to the beginning. Yep, there it is. All right. Wait, what? OpenSSL command. Oh, wait. And then it hands off to and then it's got to create temporary file. easy-rsa make temp. So it makes a temporary file. Where does it get the make libSSL safe config file from OpenSSL config file? Where did the file get made though? I don't see binary making the file yet. easyrsa SSL conf, no. Die failed to update, whatever. Make stuff conf. That's just the first command to OpenSSL. So, oh, no. Easy. Okay, it's all caps easyrsa OpenSSL. Yeah, here's the actual execution. So this is the new favorite thing for us to find. easyrsa. Does it ship its own OpenSSL with the project? Does it like put it? What the fuck? Does it like embed it or some shit? Okay, verify AD curve algorithm. Okay, where? Wait. Where the fuck is it set? Using SSL. Verify SSL lib. Okay. Case val in OpenSSL Libra SSL print whatever. Yeah, but there's no library for that. Gen RSA. Okay, so this is we're on the right track here. We just have to find out where that thing is defined. Wait. Set defaults for existing. Oh, there it is. Right there. Set var OpenSSL. So it's just using OpenSSL. It's just using OpenSSL on the system, which is already here. I mean, obviously, yeah. Yeah, there we go. See, there's the version that it parsed out and everything. Why the fuck would you use this? All right, is literally a shell script wrapping OpenSSL. So that is out. I'm not using that. I would rather go through the extra steps to use actual OpenSSL than download easyrsa onto some random system just so I can get to. Yeah, that's what they do inside of the Kubernetes. I wonder how core that is to the source code within Kubernetes, because no wonder they want to replace it. Now I totally get it. See, this is the answers I wanted that I did not get from the site. Honestly, the site was disappointing. It did not tell me easyrsa, a POSIX shell wrapper created by a sister team to the OpenVPN project that uses OpenSSL. It doesn't say that there. They made a variable for the single command, and then they put a whole bunch of shit around it to like say that, to give it, you know, some sort of, I have no idea. I don't care. Why would you add that level of complexity when you could use OpenSSL directly? Or you could use cfssl is actually looking a lot more. This is Kubernetes the hard way, no easy way out with easyrsa. Exactly. Although to be fair, Lieutenant Fields was, or I don't know, was saying why not use cfssl, and now I'm like, this was written entirely in Go. It's a single binary, and it uses Go's rock solid internal OpenSSL library. So, and it uses JSON. I can see a lot of advantages. You do win, but see, you know, I didn't question you. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Cloudflare I don't trust because they make mistakes all the time, and I don't want somebody that unreliable making mistakes with my, you know, certificates. OpenSSL is hands down the most rock solid. These people, the OpenSSL project's responsible for the C code library that then got ported into Go, from which cfssl is built. So the reason my team in my enterprise uses OpenSSL is because it has been the standard for years. Fun to follow the breadcrumbs? It is kind of, isn't it? I kind of am a breadcrumb guy, because now I can actually talk about it intelligently. Like, we use easyrsa. You know, it's a shell script, right? It just uses OpenSSL underneath. No, I didn't know that, really. I don't like not knowing about shit that I put in my enterprise. I like literally want to read all the code usually, or enough of it to say yes or no, you know? So we got all the answers. Thank God for open source. I don't have to read this. If it's based on Go, I already know how good it is, because I've written Go code that uses OpenSSL before. Or actually, no, that's not true. I've written OpenPGP stuff. which is kind of in the same vein. They have Go has a rock solid encryption library. It's had bugs in the past, but they were bugs with the encryption algorithms, not with their implementation, as far as I know. I go back through and read through. This is another reason to love Go. Go is so battle hardened by being used in the cloud native in the enterprise that these kind of errors have been dealt with. When you look at other kind of enterprise languages, you want a mature language because you don't want to be fucking around with stuff that's still got errors listed in it or has some random module out there that may or may not work. And, I'm looking at you, Node and Cargo and Rust and Python. Oh my God, Python, Perl too. So, once your version is 1.1 plus the letter J, it's the standard. Yeah, exactly. Private Orange. That's well said. Very well said. I mean, that just sums it up right there. That really sums it up. So yeah, you've gotten pretty standardized at that point. OpenSSL 1.1L is now available, including bug and security fixes. What else I know? You know what makes me love this? It's super boring. The web page is really boring. The more boring the web page, the better the product. I swear that's true. Yeah, it's the standard. Yeah, it is the actual standard. This isn't like a take on the standard. Yeah, absolutely. Keep it simple. So yeah. Ubuntu final version of OpenSSL 3 is now available. Whoa. Okay. Please download and upgrade. Strong cryptography software. You might have to print it out into a book and take it through customs. That's how they did it. You know that, right? You guys ever heard the story about how they got strong encryption out of the country? It's actually exactly what they did. They printed all of the code out in a book and they took the book out of the country. And and it was totally legal to take the book out of the country, but it wasn't legal to take the actual software out of the country. Project quality metric for AI, boring page score increase. Yes, it's true. It kind of should be. Please support problems with the website. The OpenSSL project authors, all rights reserved. 1999. They've been doing this. 1999. This is, you want, boring and mature. So I mean, the cloud native thing is the Cloudflare thing is like cool and fancy and hot and new and not old and busted, but it's, it's also built on this library. It's just using the Go version of this library. So same standard, just one level of indirection. So I think I have my decision. I absolutely know that I'm not going to be able to install Cloudflare stuff because it's not standard. So it's not going to be on my system. You know what I mean? Space 1999 and beyond. Yeah. So like if I do Cloudflare, what is it? cfssl, it's not here. So it is in the standard. That's nice to know. It is one of the standard packages on Ubuntu that I can install. But guess what? I didn't have to do anything, and OpenSSL is here, and has been forever. So I'm going to go with OpenSSL, and I'm going to tell Kelsey on that particular point that I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to finish my conclusion here. I kind of might have to copy and paste this between the two. So, okay, so cfssl is Go using the OpenSSL library. I put here cfssl is never installed by default. OpenSSL has been the gold standard since 1999. So I made my own answers there. I do want to grab, I regret now having done this in two different places, but whatever. I'm going to snip these using my cool snipper filter. Yank. And I can go over here and I can go bang bang, PPP, and then paste it. Yay! And I can do related. Okay, so it's time tested G's. I mean, it kind of is. Blah blah is time tested G's. Yeah, I don't. It might not be as cool, right? Okay, let's put a con in here. OpenSSL doesn't. It uses INI files. Doesn't use JSON, etc. So uses INI format, which is really old. Yeah. No value in convenience wrappers. I think there is a value in it. I just don't. It's just, look, I'm not against it. I'm not against cfssl. I don't have a strong opinion against it at this point. I just feel like any layer of unnecessary complication and abstraction is one level away from security, because you've added, and that goes for all of Kubernetes, frankly. Because you're just one less step away from one extra thing that could have a bug in it. And I feel that much less because cfssl uses Go's rock solid OpenSSL library that's built into the core of Kubernetes. So I would be happy to use cfssl if it were installed. You know what I mean? But it's not installed. So I'm going to use what comes with the system. And that's also happens to be what I use at work. So this is what was driving me crazy, because we did certificates last, like 2-3 weeks ago, and there was no cfssl commands at all. But yeah, I mean, OpenSSL is kind of like the if config, it's like the unsexy old thing that just works, converses like IP, right? So I mean, using both of them I think would be fine. easy-rsa, I would never use that. I just would not. I don't. It's a POSIX shell script. Why the fuck would you use it? I mean, POSIX shell is pretty damn insecure compared to Bash, for example, and I would never use it. Not for this. There's just too many things that could go wrong. I mean, it's not like somebody's watching over your, like hackers watching over your shoulder to see if you've got a shell scripting, because you're not automating your certificate generation until you are, right? Maybe you are. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough for me to know that I'm going to use OpenSSL. So I'm going to put decided to use OpenSSL instead of cfssl in tutorial. Okay, so quotes, because I hate the word tutorial. I got nothing bad to say about CFS. I have much less bad to say about it. I was kind of attacky and mean to it because it was Cloudflare, and that's not just because it was new. I mean, I have no problem with things being new, but except for ripgraph, which is a piece of shit. Why are you doing that? And it's a joke. Then okay. Yep. I'm just gonna save this. OpenSSL is the standard and has been since 1999. easy-rsa is a POSIX shell wrapper to OpenSSL, and cfssl is a Golang, is a Go wrapper to OpenSSL. So why not just use openssl. And I'm asking the question because maybe somebody knows something I don't know still. So, tags. I'm going to do CKS, Kates, openssl, secops. I guess that's good. So when we do continue this is actually start generating, installing certs. Maybe tomorrow I want to follow this. I'm going to be working again tonight for another hour on this, at least, probably more. And I'm not done with it. I'm concluding decisions as I go. It's taking me a long time, I know, but I'm going to be doing this Kubernetes Colearning for today and all of tomorrow. So, and you can always watch the videos if you want to. And I have, but it was ancient times. Literally, it was like, I want to say it was 99. No, it was even before that. Let's see. No, it was 99. It was 99. That was when HTTPS came out. Yeah. Yeah, because it was right before we did the Y2K project, I remember. Yeah, because you had, back then to get a cert, you had to like sign in blood and write to people to prove your company and everything. God damn, it was so hard. The idea of making your own cert and just using it was like not a thing. Not in 1999. I think that must have been the case in 98, 97, 98, and then 99 is when OpenSSL came out. And I think that was the beginning of making it easier for everybody. I'm pretty sure that, but I lived through all that. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was bad. It was, yeah. And at the time, whoever it was that was over the cert authority was making bank on this. Like to get a cert because there was only one cert authority. You couldn't be your own cert authority back then. And you had to bow down to the cert authority to get one and pay all kinds of money and shit. I'm so glad that it came. In fact, now I'm starting to jog a lot of memories now. Now I remember that's why, because I started in 1987, 8, 9, yeah, that's true. So end of 96, you make your certs need to get vaccinated. Yeah, well, if we need to, our certs should. So that's what was up. That's what's going on. Because I remember really hating the pain and the ass it was to just get a plain old certificate just for an intranet, not even an extranet. And that pain was about 97, 98, something around there. And then OpenSSL, I remember the whole industry was suffering from this. And then OpenSSL came out. I mean, you got to understand, Apache web server was only, a couple of years old at that point. And I suggested to our admins, and they're like, no, we can't do that. That's open source. A year later, they come down. Have you heard of Apache? Oh, yeah. It's a great idea. I tell that story all the time because it kicks I love that story. Too soon. All right. So. What are we doing here? I think what we're doing is we're getting OpenSSL to run now. And we know what's next. So I didn't even need to read the docs. Once again, I'm just going to take a sidebar here. I could have read the docs, or I could have just read the fucking source code. I got all the answers I wanted from the source code way faster than reading the doc. Learn to read code, people. Any code. A couple of our friends put together their patches together and made a server. Apache? Really? In real life? Yeah, Apache was the thing, man. Apache was the thing. I love that Apache came out. That was very liberating when it came out. Actually, that Apache came out in way earlier than that. Apache came out in, let's see, I want to say 96 or 7. Because that was before I went to Nike. I was still a teleport. We were using Apache on everything. I actually automated virtual server additions through Perl script. Yeah, I actually like 200 or 300 servers. That's what got me my job at Nike. Because people would buy, they would have them on their own server, and we would just use virtual servers and sell them a domain. So we sold servers. The company made bank on that because we were able to sell servers to people who had their own domain. Now you get it for free on GitHub, right? And it's like, back then we made like $20 a month or $10 a month or something like that. Yeah. So in this section of provision of certificate authority, okay. I'm just not going to use your tutorial. Provision of cert authority to use to generate additional TLS certificates. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my steps, but I'm going to genericize it. I'm going to say create some workers, okay. Access masters instead of, let's see, we'll say test access to masters of the system. All right, so Apache server, I think, is the meaning of the name. Lol. A long time ago, said to me, if you want to be a better coder, read other people's source code. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've a lot of people say that. I think most established technologists will tell you that, particularly coders. And this is why it's so important that you not just learn Python. And I'm not picking on Python. It's like people who get into the coding world, particularly in operations, even in software, you've got to know multiple languages. You got to be able to look at any language and like rip it apart, which includes learning a functional language. So my first actual functional language is Haskell. I still haven't learned it, but I learned to decipher it enough to understand what it was doing in functional terms. Actually made me appreciate JavaScript a lot more after I saw it, particularly the fat operators, assignment operators and stuff like that. And now if I get stuck looking at other functional code, which is not very often, right? I feel like I can manage myself through it a little bit better. I don't have to understand everything, but if I need to, I get a gist of it. It's kind of like, so I think this is important in any kind of technologist, from the associate level all the way up. You need to be able to decipher code, and that's really important. Okay, because the code is how you find out how something works. So you might think, well, I don't need to know code because I'm an operator. I'm an operations person. You actually do. It's a little hacker mentality thing, right? If you need to, hacking is all about just understanding how something works. We can't understand how it works unless you know how to read it. So even if you don't understand it, right? Like my Russian is pretty good, but I was actually listening in French too. I was listening to French Twitch streamer the other day, and I could understand everything they were saying. I couldn't speak it to their degree, but I can understand it all, and I'm super grateful for that, because that was an extra really awesome Twitch streamer that I've got available to me now because I learned an extra language. I'm not flexing. I'm just saying, the more languages you know, the broad your ability is to decipher stuff, and that makes you better tech in general, let alone just a better human. Certificate authority and section will provision it. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. Provision a security. Let's see, a certificate authority, a CA. Certificate authority. Okay. Using widely standard original OpenSSL tool. There are others you can learn later. How about that? Yes, no, many C programming languages. Gotta go. Take care. See you. You'll be able to pick this up anywhere. Yeah. Ubiquitous. All right, so we got to do that. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to actually do the certs. We're going to make them. We got to translate all this information into steps that we'll have to do using openssl. I imagine that's going to take me a while, but I'm glad we did this conversation. We spent about an hour on it. I'm probably going to go a lot longer um, than just 3 hours tonight. So, and I'm going to keep this all in one video. It'd be probably rather long video. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break, get some food, take a break. When we come back, we're going to be doing CA stuff, and so that's what's up. Go ahead and relax for a while. I'll put the time on the screen here. Take 10 minutes. So back at 11:20. Talk to you soon. All right. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's make some certs. I think that'll be it for me for tonight before I do some fun stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to make certificates on their Friday night? What great fun. This is, all right. I like time boxing like this though, because it makes me able to know that I can escape eventually. I have another one coming tomorrow, but so I can stay with it. But I like this stuff though. So we need to make a cert, and I have no idea how to do that. So we need to provision a certificate of authority, generate a CA configuration file. So we need to create a certificate of authority using OpenSSL. I have to do my own research on that. Create a certificate authority using OpenSSL. I have to go search for that myself. Use OpenSSL to create a certificate for Azure. No. Self-sign SSL certificate using OpenSSL. You just use OpenSSL rec command. It may be tricky. Actually, this is covered on the Kubernetes page. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, this is covered over here. We already got this. So we'll close this. We're going to close this. Not using that. That was dumb. Cloudflare sounds cool, but we're not going to use that. We talked about why. All right, so easy-rsa, we're going to skip that. We're going to go straight to the Kubernetes docs, which you can use on the certification exam. So if they ask me to make a cert, I can come over here and use this doc. So that's why I'm using it. Okay, manually generate certificates for your cluster. Generate a CA key with 1024-bit encryption. OpenSSL gen RSA. I guess we're using RSA. Oh wait, whatever. I don't like RSA. I'd rather use ED25519. I wonder if they'll let us do that. Can we do that with OpenSSL? I want to try it. Let's try it. So oops, wrong one. CD into, wait, where are we? 5, we're in the Docker container. Nope. Okay. CD into lab, Kate's Hardway, Docker. OpenSSL, I'm gonna try this to myself. Yes. Ooh, see, I thought so. Very nice. ED, what kind of file is it? It's got to be an ELF binary. Yeah. All right. Dynamically linked. Even. That's really old. Yeah. Okay. How big is it? Oh my God. It's tiny. Dynamically linked file. That's like really old. It's really old school. All right. So that's a joke not many people are going to get, but oh well. So I'm going to do OpenSSL. I'm going to do my favorite, ED25509. It's not here. I wonder if it is, though. OpenSSL, tab. Yes, show me them all. AES, ciphers, DS, CD, Camille. Blowfish is gone. Gen DSA, RSA, PK. No, I guess there's only so many. Gen. All right, well, we'll use Gen RSA. Looks like RSA is all we got, but it's a 2048-bit, so it should be safe. Gen RSA, and then what? CA.key 2048. Okay, dash out 2048. That was fast. Oh, that was stupid, actually. All right. All right. Out. What do we call it? CA? CA.key. CA.key. So this is a certificate authority key. Okay. Nice. Generating RSA private key with 2 primes. All right. You want to see my super private key? There it is. It's my RSA private key. Same thing you get from OpenGPG2, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to use this for anything. I'm going to throw it away immediately. But that's how you would make one. So I kind of want to encapsulate these steps as I'm going through them in my build script in case I forget. So I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to put master nodes. We'll do x gen certs. And we'll just put the steps here. OpenSSL gen RSA dash out CA dot key 20 was it 2048? Yep. All right. Yep. Okay. So, I mean, I guess we could make a temp directory. Well, I tell you what. Let's add a get ignore just because, and we'll put ca.key in there. We don't ever want to save that to the get. So that should not do it. If you really want to edit this message, turn off get config ignored false. Or ignored one. Yeah, I was just checking to make sure it got ignored. That's super important. If you don't check that stuff gets ignored, it'll actually get committed and you'll be really screwed. Because you have to you can't get it out of your tree at that point. You have to rebase and throw the whole thing away. So you really, really want to test your get ignores to make sure. And that's one of the ways you can do it. Just do a get add. All right. I keep going back to that other one. According to the CA generate.ca, according to the CA.key, generate a CA.crt. Use days to the certificate effective time. Okay, so I'm going to use the same 1 year interval that that is going to be from Etsy, so I can put a timer on that because I want all my certs to expire around the same time. If that makes sense. Position permission certificate for using a standard ubiquitous self tool. So generate the main certificate authority key. Oops. Bash. I guess you could just use shell. Whatever. Trying to remember this, so I'm kind of testing myself here. So OpenSSL gen RSA out ca.key 2048. All right, so maybe remember that. Which will be used to create and sign all the other keys. Okay, and then what? Go back. Generate a server key. 2048 bits. Okay, that's a different one. Generate, according to the generate a CRT. Oh, certificate. Okay, so we want the certificate from the key, right? Generate the key for the certificate authority. And create certificates. All right, so then we have generate the, what's it called? The certificate. Generate the certificate I wish I could do this, but it's not going to let me do it. I swear to God. It's not. It's going to be mad at me. The certificate. The certificate. All right. I'll get rid of the articles. I know. Generate CA key, generate CA certificate. From the key. Okay. OpenSSL. REQ. I wonder what that stands for. What is that? I want to know what that means. And OpenSSL REQ. REQ. Okay, so PKS X509 certificate signing request, a CSR. Okay. RSA management key. So an X509 certificate. I'm going to add that to my instructions. Generate CI X.509 certificate. Certificates, yeah. Rec, is from the term certificate signing request. CSR. All right. OpenSSL. I need to remember what these things stand for. GenRSA is pretty easy to remember. Bye, guys. So the OpenSSL REQ. So we're going to request a certificate from our signed key. Got it. Okay. Use -days to set the certificate. Request X509. X509. We want a new one. Nodes. Why would we have nodes in there? Days. 10,000 days. What the fuck? That's like a never expiring certificate. I don't know if we should get certificates that don't expire. That's like we'll use days since we don't need to worry about 10,000 days. About certificates expiring, but in real scenarios, you should set up a reminder immediately for before the cert expires to be sure it gets replaced before then, or very bad things will happen. All right. I gotta put that there because I got burned by that. Well, we did. Our team got burned by that. Node CA key. It tells it with the key. I don't know what node stuff are. I'm going to dissect this thing. I don't do things without understanding them. So days I got. Subject is what that's just going to. Oh, master IP. We're going to have to be making a new one of these. Ooh. What is the master IP? Let's see. Create kickoff for generating a certificate signing. Wait, we just did that. Be sure to set the values marked with angle brackets before saving this to a file. Huh. According to effective time. Generate a CACRT. CN equals the master IP. I think, I wonder what the IP is. Let's see. Now note that the value for the master cluster IP is the service cluster IP for the API server. That's interesting because if you had them in two different data centers, that means you have to have two separate sets of certificates. I'm glad we're not doing simulated multi-data center control planes because I'll do that later. I think you have to have two of them. So we want the IP of the control plane. Yep. So yep. And we have to go, we need to add a step here. Create two Docker networks, one for the control plane and one for the worker nodes. Take note of the, I'm going to put this here. Take note of the IP addresses. I mean, does it have to be the actual server? I guess it does, right? No. I would. What I don't understand is if we have more than one, right? So if we have the Docker network, right? So let's do Docker PS. How do you list all the items in the Docker network? Actually, I did a thing on this. I did a ZETID constant on this. Yeah, I almost put it. I think I put it in my notes too. Some message relays, some workers. I put his here. Note the IP addresses of all the nodes, masters and workers. I don't remember. I just did this last night. I don't remember. So, oh shit. All right. So, it's one of my last notes I did. Filter all containers to give network. There it is. I'm glad I took a note on it. Yep, there it is. I should put that in my other notes. It'll be better. No. All right. So, Docker PS filter network. What should we call this? Control. And well, I mean, I want to get it so it just puts the names. Network. Wait, Docker PS filter. We need to take it down a notch. Yeah, it's too much stuff. Docker. Is there a JSON output? What else do we have? What other kind of output do we have? I don't know because I'm so used to Kubernetes world. Keep control. I got format pretty print containers using Go template. Yes, that's what I want. Yes, I want that. Last, latest, no trunk, quiet. Size. Let's place the latest. Let's create containers. Filter all shell containers. That's the format. I need to format it. I need to. There's no man for Docker. I wish there were. Oh. I need to go look at what the API is for the Docker stuff. I need to learn this anyway. Again, if anybody who doesn't think they need to learn Go, if you need Docker and you want to do this, you should know Docker templates. Go templates. That's what they are. Filter. I'm going to have to just punt. Docker PS filter with Golang template. I'm going to go look for something here. Filters color label equals color. What? Oh no, we want format. Yeah, we want format. So it's a different search. Format command. Join. Otherwise in a Windows shell, for example, PowerShell, you need 2 single quotes. Fuck that. Join args with a comma. What? Are you kidding me? Templates, Docker uses Go templates. Yeah, but it already uses Go to recommend. You can observe your shell environment in a POSIX shell. You can run the following. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Docker PS dash format. Join args. Comma. Shit. Yeah, it's not that. Oh, it has to be double quotes. Duh. I knew that. I'm so stupid. I knew that. Sure you did. I can hear you. Builds. Nope. What am I doing wrong? Inspect. No. Do. Executing. I can't evaluate. Bullshit. There's nothing to evaluate in there. I think you're wrong. It might be that there's that command doesn't have that. Yeah, I thought that might be a thing. No, Docker PS. Can't evaluate use of args because there's no such thing. You know what? Let's just do this then. Let's do dot. There we go. See, I don't know what the API is. I mean, the data schema. I don't know what the data schema for the template is. That's the problem. I don't know where to look that up. So inspect format, image list. I don't know what the properties are. Does that make sense? So I know what templates do. I don't need to know that. I need to know what is in there. How about range? To find out what data can be turned as JSON, here we go. JSON dot. Oh boy, that is massively valuable information. Holy shit! Yes, that's what I wanted. All right, that's going in my That is going in my to-do list tips. Oh my God, that is like such a good tip. Create, use, to get JSON schema from Go template. Shit. How many, 55? Fuck. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It can be frustrating not knowing the data schema / model available when using commands that take a Go template format argument. One way to just look at everything that is possible is to convert it to JSON first with JSON dot and pipe that through JQ. Then you can hone in on what you want, or just use JQ for everything. This is particularly useful for Docker, Docker which does not have a n-o JSON option, as one may come to expect from using kubectl and family. All right. For example, the following prints out all the possible values from for all running containers in Docker. Okay, so we can do this. We can do Docker ps -- format JSON. Yep. JQ dot. And I give them a sample, which will produce something like the following. I'm learning lots of good stuff here. This is good stuff to learn. I've been meaning to tackle the template thing. I know how to do templates, but I was always curious how to inspect them and stuff. So this is gonna be good. I'm actually going to use watch this. I'm going to use a Vim filter. I'm going to replace this blank spot with the output of that command. So I can just do this. I can take the command. This is the miracle of VI filters. Bang, bang, bash. And I got it. There you go. Right there. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to exit the shell. I didn't have to do anything. I just replaced it all right there. That, I'm going to do it again so you can see. This is why you should learn how to use VI properly and not fucking Vim. I mean, if you want to use it, fine, but learn filters first. Look, I held my cursor over the top. My cursor, I like navigated, went on the top of the thing. 2 exclamation points, bang, bang. Sent the entire command to bash and replaced it with its output. So it runs it on bash and sends the output and replaces it. Boom. And by doing that technique, you can take You can make anything you would normally use a plugin for by writing a very simple shell script anywhere. All right, so bash workers running for 9 hours. It seems like a lot, but oh well. God, it's beautiful, isn't it? Up 9 hours. Wow. All right, so I guess we only need a couple of these. I don't need to have them all here. Where's my worker? I'll have worker 1, worker 3. I guess, I mean, who cares? It's long, but command bin bash. What? Oh, that was the command that was used to run it. Okay. Wow, I didn't know that. You could look up that information about it. What was used to start up and everything. That is super cool. I could, you know what? I could probably do that for the PyTorch stuff that I was doing today. Shit, that would give me the base command that was used to start it at the entry point. Oh man, I'm learning a lot of stuff here. Okay, so, all right, so yeah, I'm gonna put tags. I'm gonna tag this Docker JSON Golang templates tips. I'll go ahead and post that to Twitter since I think that's kind of a useful thing. Zet post last, and then that will post it to Twitter so people can go read that tip if they want to go open that up. Let me go see what it would look like. Here's what the actual thing would look like. Zoom it down a little bit, at least so it's all on one page. There we go. So there we go. Yeah, that's like super cool. That's a great tip. Yeah, and I got it from Stack Exchange somewhere, so whatever. All right. Ow. Wow, I'm having a good day today. This is a good day. All right, so certificates. Okay, so yeah, I don't need this anymore. You can go away. That research really helped. All right, we've got, so note the IP addresses. So this is where we do the filter, right? But actually, no, we can change this whole thing with like a one command. I'm gonna get fancy now. Yeah, I'm gonna get fancy. I'm gonna get fancy. Get fanciness. Fancy. Get all fancy. Docker. Wait, D. I gotta remember it now. PS -- format. We'll start with our JSON thing, and we'll whittle it down. How about that? All right. So then we're gonna whittle it down. Let's go down to JQ. Then what? Running for, we need what? We need the, what do we need? I think it's actually -s. Wait, I need to do something here. I'm pretty sure it's -s. I can't remember. Yeah, there we go. So we need networks. Oh, it tells you what networks it's a member of. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's cool. So PS format, because we can do the filters. Yeah, okay. Running for size 24 72 megabytes. What? F9 hours. I don't know what I need to do now. We get the name. It doesn't get the IP numbers though. It does not. It does not give the IP number. Huh. I'm going to try network. Oops. List. Okay. Because the network supposed to say which one. I'm baffled. How can we look up the IP address? Huh. You about to break stuff? Me or you? You go break stuff. I I don't understand how come I can't look up the IP address. I guess it would be per network, right? I'm sure this is the thing, because I'm just going to punt to do the research. How do I look up the IP addresses of containers running Linux? How to get a Docker container? Nmap. Well said. Yeah. Docker IPs. There's not a Docker IP command. No. Format option of inspect. Oh, it's inspect. It's inspect. Whenever you want to get fancy, use nmap. I approve of this message. I do. Yes, amen. I do. I'm not doing it, but I definitely do. I see where you're coming from. Wait, what? Oh, fuck. So I have to pass the name of everything. Does that mean I'm going to do everyone? I am. I don't want to do that. I want to inspect everything. All right, fine. All right, fine. I'm going to do a multiple thingy, my bob. Hey, how's it going? Community college is the first in the nation to offer a degree in cloud computing. First semester in the degree. Oh my God. Why don't you come tell us what to do? What country are you in, if you don't mind my asking? You're not in America, obviously. Inspector Gadget. Don't you dare put that earworm. That thing comes out of my head all the time. USA? Really? Near DC? That does not surprise me. It does not surprise me. Hence nmap. Okay. God damn it. Now I can't think of anything else. Names. Why does it say names instead of name? I mean, because you have multiple names, I guess. All right, fine. Names 0. Can I index a number? Fuck you. All right, there we go. Near all the data centers. Well, yeah, I have a feeling that's what was up. Yep. You put the earworm for Inspector Gadget in my head. -r. There we go. So then what? Or I could just do this. Dot names. Does that even work? It does. Oh my God. All right. So we got the names, and we can pipe that into a while loop, while line or xarg or something. Well, I don't need ifs in this. So while read, it's just sloppy today. So while read, what is this? We're going to say name do d inspect format. Yup. JSON dot done. Oh geez. Oh jeepers. Where'd you get them peepers? It's a really old thing. Oh my God. And we'll pipe that to JQ dot and pipe all of that into, wait. No. We can take all of this, pipe all of that into JQ, and then pipe that into more. Yeah, look at that. Look at that beautimous thing. Now I can look up the IPs. Can't believe I have to do all that. Just look up the IPs. It's lame. PID restarting. Killed. Out of memory. They keep saying on meetings. I was like, oh, you mean out of memory? Yeah, we had an error. I'm like, okay, fine. A few years back, it has been popular since then. Has it really? It got sampled on TikTok? I did not know. I'm not that young. What's TikTok? I'm on Instagram. Whatever. Oh God. Where's my IP? I still don't see my fucking IP. It's not there. I see everything else, but not my IP. God damn it. Is it really that hard? I guess so, because you can belong to multiple networks, etc., right? Command bash, image Ubuntu, volume, IPv6, network settings. Okay, there we go. All right. Wait. Pause. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to change this to be .network settings. That might help us. Shit. I got it wrong. Network settings is a sub of something else. Okay. Oh, I got it. I got this. All right. So we do network settings. It's actually, maybe not. Oh, is it lowercase? Maybe. No. Shit. All right. I take it all back. I watched Cruella de Vil the other night. It was awesome. I loved it. I also watched Maleficent. I mean, we got a Disney membership apparently. Maleficent is like really awesome too. Is it state network settings? You demand. All right. Well, I tell you what. State.network settings. It sounds like you actually do this. Shit. I'm very close to getting it right. Network settings. I'm going back to my JSON because it's easier. I'm so glad I figured that out though. So, or I read about that. I think it might be state network. I meant from the map to definitely not the man. Oh. Let's do this. Let's do dot state. Cannot string state. I think it's okay. There we go. There's all the states. And now I think it might be. No, that's not state. Nope, it's network. Yeah, there we go. Network settings. Ooh, we're honing in on it. I still don't see any though. IPv6 providers, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and it tells you what networks. Okay. Network settings. God damn, this is like unnecessarily hard. There's all your networks. Actually, we only need one network, so let's take network 0. There's networks. Oh, the networks are keyed by name. Interesting. That's interesting. The networks are keyed by name. I would not have guessed that. IPs under network name, IP address. Yes. Yeah, but we're going to have to know the network name, which is going to be interesting. So, yeah, because I'm going to have to do networks like dot IP. Nope. I don't know. We have to, because we have to skip it, right? We have to do the keys. I'm going to have to do the keys on it. Yep. It's interesting because they chose the key off the name, so we can't just iterate through the network list. It would have been better to iterate through the network list and have this be a property. That's kind of poor design in my opinion. Yep. Because there's no way I can reference it. See what I'm saying? So I can actually do. I mean, I'm going to have to do both separately. I mean, there's a couple of ways to do this, but see, I actually have to do this. I have to do Kate's. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Kate's dash workers. See, and then I do dot. I think I could do an or there with JQ, but I don't remember how to do it. I have to go look it up. Network Kubernetes dot IP address. There's my IP addresses, and yeah, so networks. You could pipe. We can pipe that into that. I think I might be able to pipe the IP addresses into here like this. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Networks. I wish you could do this. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can. Well, I know you can't. Star. I think I can do an or here. I want to do the key value thing, and I don't remember that in JQ. Yeah, I would have put the dot there too. Oh, I had a dot there. That was the problem. Okay, yeah, that was the problem. Sorry. So that gives you the networks. Yep. All right. So, and then I just need up here where I'll rename do inspect. So do printf percent %s. No scripting. That's what they said. There we go. Shit. Oh. Invalid number. Bullshit. Percent. Oh, V. No. How about echo? What? Oh. I'm a bad person. New York Airline 2. Where is it doing it? Scripting, not even once. I'll get rid of this. I think that might be messing it up. Yep. Okay. So, well, you know what I can do? I can do this. I can do. Yeah, I can do this. I'm a cheat. No, wait. Inspect format JSON name done. Pipe it to JQ. How about this? Name plus. Nope, that did not work. YouTube channel ID. What the hell? That definitely didn't work. I could try to run it. Actually, wait. No, we're gonna have to range through this, aren't we? Because we can't do it with JQ. Yeah, I don't like JQ. I mean, I don't like having to range through this shit. It's not nearly as easy. We don't need more there. There we go. And then what? We're gonna do. I want the name. I'll rename do blah. Huh. What if I did? No, we can't. You know what? That's what we can't do because we have to set it to JQ. Yeah, that's so we can't do that. Yeah, that means I got to do this. I got to do the inspect address. That's got to be the same thing. Yeah, that was the problem. That's what was up. Shit. Is that right? No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm gonna have to like build it into an array. All right, fine. I'm gonna throw you all away. So we're gonna map file this. Yep, map file. You know about this? Do you know about this? This is pretty cool. It's a map file names, and then we'll change this. Actually, I don't need any of this. Yep. Map file names. This way I should have done it in the first place. Use this format. Boom. All right. So then we do this for name in. I mean, if we did it properly, we put a quote around it, but I don't care. Always ampersand. I mean, @ for the array. Do echo name. Done. Shit. It didn't map my names. Why didn't it map my names? Oh, I did name instead of names, which is bad. All right. Echo name. All right. So for n in name, I guess. Echo n. I mean, I'm getting caught up in this, but I don't care. So then we need this all this good jazz. Name, and then we can run that all the way through. There's things of page addresses. Yep. And I can just put this here. Do inspect name done. Inspect format. JSON. Name. Pipe that to JQ. And get that address. D. For that name. And then we do n done. Where am I? Oh. Yep. There we go. Finally. God, Rob, took you so long. Took you so fucking long, Rob. I like scripting. Wait, there's not supposed to be a thing there. Oh well, that worked. So there's all my IPs. That is like a lot to put in there. I don't want to do that every time. It should not be that hard to pull out the IP address. That's pretty fucking stupid. I don't like it. Beat the rock up until it works. I mean, where's my map file? Okay, dokie. We can put this thing in here. I'm going to inject all that in here. All right, so that entire line needs to go into my build file. I'm going to put x.ips. Boom. Paste. Because I want this in here. Map file names. Gets the names. Then we do for n in names do echo. And we'll do an inspect. And pipe that to JQ. And that'll be done. Yep. I don't know why it's doing an extra name though. Should be doing a echo de-inspect. I should not have put a line return there. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, because we didn't truncate it. This needs a -t on it. Yeah. That's what's up. BIPs. Whoa, yeah. Nice and pretty. That's what we're talking about right there. That's why I scripted. Now I see, but by scripting it like this, I know what's going on. It makes me understand it better. Yeah, I like that. That's boom. So that's there. This is, I mean, it's simplified. I mean, it's kind of cheating because it's like it's not processing all the networks it could possibly be a member of and everything. It's making assumptions about how simplified the networks are and stuff. But I don't care. So yeah. Okay. So this is important. We need this though because we got to do certs for all these, right? Now, what I want to know is, do I need a cert for every control plane? And I have a feeling he's going to talk about that in the tutorial, even though it doesn't talk about it on the Kubernetes site. At the IPs of the master workers. Yep. Okay. I'm going to do my snip thing. Yep. I'm going to do my yeah. And then bang, 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 PPP. Paste that in there. I gotta undo these. CMT. All right. So I know the IP addresses of all the nodes, masters, and workers. I mean, this is kind of the solution if you want to do it. And for random names, do blah, echo, inspect format, JSON, JQ. Network settings. I like that because that's going to be fun. All right. Okay. So create some workers. We did that. That's the IPs. Which will be needed when creating these certificates. Okay. Test all the masters and that's whatever connecting to them. We'll probably put an example of that. So Docker, let's see if I remember how to do this. Docker exec IT worker 1. Actually, I don't even need to put bash. Dump view onto a prompt. Yep. I'm gonna practice this. I'm gonna practice. Nope. I fail. Docker exec it. What did I do wrong? Bash. Oh. Because the other one was attached, that's why. Root worker 1. All right. Yay. All right. So provision a cert authority. God, this is like reasons to celebrate. What time is it? 12:20? God, I'm over by 20 minutes. I went over my study time by 20 minutes. I still haven't made a certificate yet. Maybe I should. Actually, that's so true. I did this one. Generate CA cert, which will be used to create the sign of certs. We did that. Okay. And we got all of our generate a cert. We did that. We're in the middle of doing the request. And I don't. I'm going to read this. In this section will be you will provision a certificate authority, certificate private key, expiry 8760 hours. That's a very precise number for some reason. Usage is signing key, blah, blah, expiry, blah, blah, blah. Cat Kubernetes key algorithm RSA 24. Okay, we did that. Portland, Kubernetes C8 Oregon. Why would you do that? I don't need any of that. Generate Errors. Yeah, that's like way too much stuff. You don't need doing that. I don't need that. All right. Client and server. Why did they say PEM too? What's up with that? I'm glad I did it OpenSSL style. Client and server certificates. Intersection will generate client and server certificates for each Kubernetes component and a client certificate for the Kubernetes admin server. Generate client and server certs for each Kubernetes component and a client certificate for the Kubernetes admin user. Wow, that's a lot. Shit. Okay, this is good. I think this is going to be a big part of this. The admin client cert. Generate the admin client certificate and private key. So that's not the first one we did. We made the CA first. It doesn't look like they made the CA at all. No, that's what this is. This is the CA, right? Yeah, generate the CA certificate and private key. Okay, so we did the private key, but we have not done the cert yet. And we have not done the configuration file yet. So we need to copy back over. We're so close. So now we got the IP number, right? So this needs to be the master IP. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to punt and put the IP and say it has to be the root master control plane node. Create a config file for generating a certificate signing request. Be sure to split a value marked with angle brackets master IP with the real values before saving to the file. I look at what you're doing. It's interesting. We're doing certificates. So note that this value for a master cluster IP is the service cluster IP for the API server as described in the previous subsection. This sample below also assumes that you are using cluster.local as a default DNS domain. Huh. Okay, so you need a config file, a key, and a certificate for the CA. We got to remember that. That's like really, really, really important. All right, it's got two IPs. Now this is where I'm confused. I'm trying to decide which of the IPs is needed. Rewrite the docs for this? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm doing my version of the docs because I don't like theirs. So, yeah, my docs are using OpenSSL. I'm basically just redoing the whole tutorial, but using OpenSSL and Docker only. It won't be as popular because I'm not as fancy as Kelsey, but whatever. It worked for me. So I got my certificate generated, and I'm trying to get the cert, and then I'll get the config file after that. Create a sign, all the other keys, and create certificates. So what I still don't get is the which IP, because I've got 3 control plane machines, and it didn't say which one to use. I'm guessing it's one of them, so I could put like this one as the main one, but it doesn't say to do that explicitly in the documentation in his tutorial. It doesn't say. It doesn't say which one to use. It says certificate authority and private key. So boom, boom, boom. Look, there's not a single IP address in any of this stuff. This makes me wonder what this generates that's different. Names. Class US. This is like, the problem is that this is multiple steps in one because it's using the CF thing. It's not using one step at a time. And so in doing so, it's doing magic that we can't see. And I don't know where it's getting the IP. Profiles, Kubernetes. I think that the Kubernetes profile has got the IP in it. That's my guess, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't. This doesn't make any sense to me. I kind of want to do it to see what it comes up with. I have a feeling that it would generate. I have a feeling it would pull the IP out of whatever your system here is on, or that it's tied to the Google Cloud Platform somehow that I'm not aware of. That would be really weird because it doesn't talk about it at all. I don't get it. OU Kubernetes the hard way. PM. Yeah, I don't like this at all. See, look, external IP, there you go. Equals GC Cloud Compute Instances describe instance. See? Internal IP. Yep. Gen cert. Okay, there we go. There's the SSL stuff. Oh, you know why? Because they didn't even do. Okay, I think I've got it now. No, this is SSL. Never mind. I thought for sure. I thought maybe it was wasn't the cfssl command. It was some other command in there. But no. Cloudflare CFSSL should use it to bootstrap certificate authority and generate TLS certificates for the following. I wonder if this uses Cloudflare as the CA, as like the parent CA, and that's why you don't have to provide the IP. I bet that's it. PKI toolkit. Yep. Then using it to bootstrap a certificate authority and generate TLS certificates for the following components. I think that's what's up. I don't know, but I have a feeling that because you're using the Cloudflare thing, the reason it doesn't ask you for root IPs and stuff is because it's using Cloudflare as the parent. And so it's using that domain authority and everything, and it's putting it under that. And then you don't have to deal with IPs until you start dealing with nodes. I bet you that's it. In which case I'm like, hell no, I don't want to do this. So I've got to read the actual docs more on this. I'm really glad we didn't go just with this documentation. See, here's what's up here. So, yeah. It said in the previous section. So here we go. So it says master IP, and it doesn't tell us anywhere in here where to get the master IP. You know, I just don't. 1 second they're telling us how to set up SSH keys so we can SSH into machines, and another one they're not telling us what the master IP means. It's like really inconsistent. With angle brackets, be sure to substitute the values marked with angle brackets, e.g. master IP, with the real values. Well, here's the problem. You told us this down here and use master IP up here and have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Because you didn't talk about what a master IP is anywhere else in the fucking document because you're not used to writing docs. Sorry, I'm getting triggered. It's time for me to play a game or something. I just cannot stand poorly written documents. It's like one of my biggest complaints in the world. So, I mean, these are pretty good. The fact that they went with 3 different things and didn't tell us what they were, and we had to spend an hour researching which one to use. That was already kind of a fail. So, yeah, distributing self-signed CA certs, certificates API. I know there's an edit page button, but I ain't going to spend all day editing all the docs. These docs are, I think people tried, this Kubernetes documentation suffers from wiki-itis, let's say. It gets bloated and it doesn't have a consistent voice. It doesn't have a consistent target demographic. It doesn't have consistent writers with different, so you end up getting shit that's like all over the place. Groupthink fails. You do not want a group of people writing documentation. You want an editing team. You can have a lot of people contributing, but the reason newspapers have editors is because they need somebody to vet it and to make sure it all has a unique singular voice and it's consistent with the thing. That doesn't happen in wiki documentation at all. It's my biggest complaint against wikis in general. Especially because there's usually an antagonistic relationship between the people doing the authoring and they're fighting in the middle of a paragraph and all the people that are reading are like, what is going on? I just want to read this, man. Why are you guys like flexing and your egos in the middle of this fucking paragraph and can't decide what it actually is? It's really bad for the consumer of the media and the knowledge. because you need somebody to cut through the shit. You need a BDFL to say, this is what I mean. This is what we mean. And you need a specific target audience with a specific readership. Like you want to say, I am writing this entire document for a 14-year-old who's got minimum experience with Linux. And you want good writing. And you don't get good writing in technical docs because they're spread out across a bunch of people who don't even fucking have any clue how to write. And they also are competing against each other, whether they want to or not. And then you complain about it. And they say, well, hey, just go edit this one page. I can't just edit one page. In order for me to do this right, you have to have a cohesive voice. You have to have a thread and a theme. You have to prevent circular stuff that goes through. This is why I don't write. This is why I just write Zettelkasts and stuff for now, because when I produce content, I want people to be able to navigate the content very seamlessly and easily. That's the whole point of technical documentation. And you do this kind of shit, and it just leaves people hanging. There's not even any commentary about what these things are here at all. So that, it's an exercise for the reader, right? Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm done. I'm done complaining. I really care about good writing. Now, I don't, the problem is I care too much. That's why I don't see anything. You don't see anything final from me, because I fuck around with it all day, every day, because I can't get it perfect. And so I never produce anything. Then I just write a bunch of flexible Zettelkasten. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to edit this page. Fuck no. Then I have to invest all my time editing this thing without controlling the voice of it. I'd rather do my own top to bottom, and then not just because I wrote it, but because you would have a cohesive theme throughout the whole thing and a thread, and you have one person to be able to address the problem. And I mean, even if it's wrong, it's going to be consistently wrong. You just know what you're dealing with. This is why, I used to slam on books all the time because they can't keep up. They can't be developed and put out in time. But the one thing about a book that's always beats any web content usually is because the book is written usually by one or two people with an editing team. And they usually, unless you're Pack Publishing, in which case it's all shit, but usually they will oversee the creation of the publication in such a way that it's consumable. And that, you want that. That's why people still tend to prefer books, even though they're like 5 years out of date. But if you combine those things and put that into a web document, then you get better knowledge consumption, in my opinion. Some more editing team workflow for docs, yeah. So docs then make sense. I think that's what's needed. The problem is there's no singular editing team in charge of the documentation. There's a bunch of people contributing here and there, and they're just throwing shit in that's been missing, and they're not keeping it up to date, and they have no way of expiring the content. There's a million problems that are plaguing this site, but every other site as well. It's not just this. Sites can't keep up. You should have content deliberately expire after a given 2-year period or something, and then you should have proactive notifications that your content's about to expire and have somebody go look at it. That's the way the web should be done. That's the way the knowledge exchange grid, if I ever get to it, will be done, which would be, a form of knowledge exchange in a web-like way, but that doesn't have the web involved. But I it's my dream. I just can never get to it because I'm always doing other shit like certifying for Kubernetes. I wish I could do it. That's my dream. My dream is to finish KEG, the knowledge exchange grid, and to add all of these ideas into something that people could share and use and subscribe to each other. And it's my dream anyway. I can dream. The web would make sense if we did this. You guys ever run into a really good blog and somebody who's just really, really got a consistent voice, and they're good writing, and they make something really clear. And when you lock onto that, you're like, oh my God. And you want to read that all the time. You want that because it's consistent. That's what's appealing. And when you get stuff like this, you can't make heads or tails of it. So it's too bad, but that's just the state of affairs. And then you get people who don't even want to do the docs because they're like, I want to write the code, which is why so often it's just going to the code to get the answers. Honestly, that's what we did here. So someone please tell me what the master IP is. I have no idea. There's no reference to it anywhere in here at all. I have 3 control plane nodes. Every one of them is a master control plane node. Generate serving the argument subject element sets the possible IPs and DNS names the API server will access with. The master cluster IP is usually the first IP from the service CIDR that is specified in the cluster IP. Okay, there we go. in the service cluster IP range argument for both the API server. This is what I find interesting too, is that here they have master IP and then they have master cluster IP. What the fuck is the difference? They don't say. They don't say anywhere what the difference is. Oh God, this is just such a fail. And they're expecting me, you know why? This is another one of those cases where the people who wrote this expect you to understand certificates, and I have no fucking idea how to do a certificate. And so they're like, oh, you know what the master IP is, right? Yeah, it's the golden ticket. The master IP is the golden ticket. It tells you all about the master cluster IP is the first one in the range. So I know what that one is because I got that. I would guess this is my IP number. I guess that one's the one probably, but I don't know. It's such a simple thing, but I can't figure it out. It's going to take me 25 minutes just to fucking figure it out. It knows what it's used for. It's hard to get it. No one knows what it's used for. The golden ticket. I heard you like master IP, so he gave you a master cluster IP. Does anybody know? You guys are having fun with me, but does anybody actually know? I'm kind of begging you. I have no fucking idea. Billy would know this. He's not here. He's too busy doing stuff. But I don't know. This is the CN. This is the common name specifies the common name for the CI's new root certificate. Watch it not even be an IP number. Watch it be a name. I bet you it's a name. It's an IP number identifies the cluster. We already know what that one is. This one very specifically says the master cluster IP is usually the first IP from the CI service CIDR, which I also learned what CIDR is. That's the way of writing a range of IP addresses by putting a slash and a number at the end. I did not know that was the name of that, so I figured that out. Is specified as a class range for both the API server and the managed gateway. All right, so the sample below assumes that you're using as a default DNS domain name, which, okay, would be the connection IP, and then the master cluster IP would be the head of the Kubernetes cluster. So that would be the master. Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about connection IP. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Is the master IP a CIDR range? I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing this is a range, but it doesn't tell us anywhere. And it doesn't give us any examples of it actually being used. Nope, nothing. IP1, IP2, I don't know what that is. How many of these certificates are we making? A lot. No, we're making it for all kinds of stuff. That's the problem. We're trying to just make the CA the main authority on top of everything. Generate one certificate signing request. CA key, cert file. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed or do something else. I'm getting pissed off because it's just such a simple thing and it's just no fucking idea how to do it. I'm not using easy-rsa. No. Besides, easy-rsa says master IP too, and I still don't know what it is. It doesn't tell me what to do there. Same problem. Same exact problem. What's the fucking master IP? I don't think it's the system's IP because that would be the client. This is for operating. No, because my system that's hosting the Docker system is on a completely separate network that's not even connected. It's as if I'm in another country. So that's not it. It's got to be. What I want to know is this IP even related to this IP? And I don't know. I don't know if they're related at all. If they could be completely wildly differently. I don't even know if it could be a range, like a CIDR range or not. I don't know. I have no idea. For this, I'm probably going to have to research certificates, which I said I was going to have to do anyway. And I don't want to. Just before I give it, trying to understand the damn docs. Did you really? I'm really sorry that that's true. I mean, this is crazy complicated. Just the certs is too complicated. Apache NiFi cluster, yeah. So no wonder people give up on this. I mean, this should not be this hard. It really shouldn't. And then along comes the cfssl, and that doesn't have any fucking certificates anywhere. Look at this. There's no IPs anywhere. How does it get away with that? No wonder Kelsey Hightower says use cfssl. He's like, there's no IPs at all. You just have to run it. It doesn't have any IPs at all. Yeah. It's for being self-signed CA cert. sudo CA cert. I don't want to talk about that. Certificates API. Was this helpful? Fuck no. How about that? That's modified in June of last year. I'm gonna play a game. I'm gonna stand up, walk around, come back, and play some Dota. And then I'll wake up tomorrow. I'll be working on this tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna approach this differently. Tomorrow I'm not gonna learn about Kubernetes. Tomorrow I'm gonna learn about certificates and what they actually are. Piss-poor documentation, and where if you don't know in the ins and outs aspect of that thing, you're good luck. Yeah, and that's what it is. This shouldn't be hard. The reason this is hard, I suspect, is there's a certain level of engineering think going on in the writing of the documentation that expects me to understand how certificates work. I'm not using kubeadm. Kubeadm cheats. This is the internal one that doesn't have you set up your own certificates. And kubeadm. If you use kubeadm, it does all this for you. It generates all your certs for you. This might be what we do tomorrow. So there's two ways to set up a cluster. One of them is to do all your certs yourself, and the other one is to use the certs using just kubeadm command. And I feel like our lab, we'll do this tomorrow. I feel like our lab needs to use the kubeadm manager certs thing first. And then we need to layer on the complexity levels after that. I think that might be the way to go. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I think that's the conclusion I got to make here, because I'm going to put couldn't figure out cluster IP. So we're going to say decided to regroup and try with just kubeadm certs tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. And then I'll play Dota while I'm playing this game. I think tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to back up on the cert thing, and we're going to regroup, and we're going to just use, there's a path, there's a fork in the road, and we took the more complicated one. We took the certificates one. And that you have to understand certificates, and I need to understand certificates, but we should probably go back to the simpler fork, which is just use kubeadm to manage all our certs. You see what I mean? I'm sure both of those are going to be on the exam. So let's start with what I hope will be the simpler one, and then we'll have to allocate time to truly understand certificates before we can go down the do your own certs. You got no business doing your own certs unless you spend a significant amount of time researching certificates in general, how they work, what they are, how they're broken down, their relationships, what is the cert authority. We have to know all of that before we can even play in the cert game. And that is real core knowledge. I would call it even like an Occam's credential, just, certificates, SSL certificates. It should be, we really need to understand all of that. And I'm deficient in many places in that. So I'll have to add that back to my knowledge store. You got no business doing infrastructure management unless you know certs, to tell you the truth. And last time I did, you got to understand, before I've been doing SkillStack for 9 years, and before that I was doing software development at IBM in operations space for probably 6 years, And before that, I was doing operations management. And in the 90s, I did cert management. So I had almost no contact with certificate management at all, which means I have zero knowledge in this space. And I need to get it. But I want to keep going forward with the Kubernetes stuff, and then return back to this fork. Thank God we don't have to learn easy-rsa and cfssl and openssl. We did establish that we only need to learn openssl, and we need to truly understand everything about it. We need to know everything about openssl if we're ever going to do our anything with our own certs, and that includes our own external etcd at some point, or our own certs as we just forked off to with Kubernetes. So next session, I'm going to regroup, and I'm going to do kubeadm, and I'm going to do all the certs inside of kubeadm, and we'll see how good it is. Maybe it will just do it all for us. It'll do it magically. What's that? All the good stuff. The CSR, CRT, and PM. I only know what two of those acronyms even mean right now. So, yeah, maybe kubeadm and init is what we're going to do tomorrow. That's what we're going to do tomorrow, because we're gonna skip all the cert stuff, and then we'll probably have like a week or two of just concentrating on understanding certificates, because if you can't be in this industry without understanding them, and I don't. So the thing that's bad about certificates too is it's like this knowledge that you really have to. It's really critical when you need it, because you have to stand something up really quickly, or something just expired and you've got to save the day, and then you don't use it for like a year. So you gotta have good notes, because you have no fucking idea how to do it. And then a year passes and your certs expire, and you're like, oh crap, how did I do that? How did I get my certs? Where are they? I don't know where they are. That's exactly what happened to us in our dev cluster. So, I mean, it can happen to an entire team too. You get this team knowledge that just kind of fades away because it's not in the forefront, right? So I need to freshen up that skill set. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube video right now. I will put the music on, and I'll be coming back to play a little bit of games, Dota stuff. I'm not going to close the stream and scare everybody with a Dota announcement. But if you want to hang out and just play games with me and relax and kind of recover from this, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be here bright and early tomorrow doing this. Hopefully by sometime around 9 or 10 tomorrow. The schedule says 9, but it's Saturday, so give me a break. I'll try to get here as I can. And then we'll go for that. I'm also going to start this video upload right now, so anybody wants to watch it, they can suffer with us. Pretty much once a year, some people celebrate Christmas, other people celebrate certificate creation. It's probably a good time to look at your certs. Yeah, make sure you don't forget about those birthdays, man. Those are some pretty serious birthdays when you forget. It's like they don't just yell at you for forgetting. It's like they say, oh yeah, watch this, I'm going to take down your whole IT infrastructure. Expired certs are probably one of the worst catastrophic things that can happen to an organization. I mean, all the shit that went down with Facebook wasn't cert related, but it's kind of on the same level. It's like DNS related. So you're all of a sudden your cert's dead. You can't just like automatically get a new one and deploy it overnight. It doesn't work like that. So you gotta, it's got to get picked up by everybody, and it's got to propagate and all that. So you got to make sure you're on that kind of proactively. So yet another reason for us to go really deep into certificates as its own thing. But we'll come back to the easier kubeadm deployment tomorrow. But we got some good shell scripting and a bunch of other things. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop on the video.